Okay, team. Today we are with our people from Europe.
Wonderful.
Yeah, we are talking from different countries, and I think we have good news for them um, about mobility. What do you think? What do you want to share with the guys?
Well, mobility is just a very simple way of understanding the movement toward our desired outcomes in a way that is fulfilling. So it's just a way of encapsulating all the elements of the inner game into one simple idea of movement. Actually, it's moving and being moved. It feels like we're being moved, and it's fun, and it's enjoyable, and it's fulfilling, but when we have our hands on the steering wheel, we may not know exactly where we're going, but it's in harmony with who we are.
Yeah, we have talked a lot of in the training about mobility, and always people asking about how to do it in a fulfillment way or an enjoyable way. And I think when we start to think about this new workshop is to go in depth, not just about mobility, but also about the inner game tools and the inner game concepts.
Yes, and the movement I'd like to make with the people who come is that the inner game concepts will become less conceptual and more understood. Just a simple understanding of that's the way it is. We're naturally aware as human beings, but we fill that awareness with different thoughts and, oh, I want to do better than I am. You are fine the way you are. And when you're content and accepting of who you are at this moment, that allows awareness to be more refined. Awareness to bring new possibilities and to choose what you want to choose. And to find the place in yourself that you can trust. Not trust what I've said, but trust the part of you that understands. So I'm hoping to go where the power is. The world is full of different ideas, and they all fight each other, and they all try to find what's the best idea. Well, human beings have never been good at following an idea. Our history is full of trying to convince people of ideas. And man, I don't want to be a part of that. I want to be a part of what's real. Ideas come boop, 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 to the head. But conviction, choice, commitment come about 6 or 8 inches lower in our being. And that's where the enthusiasm comes from. That's where the seeking comes from. I want to understand. I want to understand. That's where the want is. The wants up here are secondhand wants, what we've been taught to want. So the simplicity of what I really want to be a part of is what I want to invite people to come to. And it doesn't matter if they've been a student of inner game for 3 or 4 years or fresh. Because if you're 3 or 4 years, you need to understand the people who are coming for the first time. So they'll be there.
Yeah,
They'll be there.
Sometimes more than 3 years, sometimes 10 years or 20 years.
Yeah, well, I'm refreshing myself after 55 years. I'm learning how to be simple. And it feels great. It feels really good. And so I know I'm on the right track, and I want to bring those along who want to come, who want to be simple, less complicated. And it's interesting, less complicated means more exact, more profound, but more subtle in our understanding. Mm-hmm. And that gets expressed when we do essentials or are starting a new application of inner game, mm-hmm. whatever part you yourself may want to play.
Yeah, when we were talking about the new program, this the inner game of mobility, you said that you need minimum 3 days to go in depth.
Yes.
Can you explain a little bit what people can expect for these 3 days?
I would like them to come without expectation. Because the time is taken to get past the expectations, past what we think learning in a seminar is, and come to be ourselves. You don't have to prepare to accept yourself as you are and begin to move through the layers that are between you and you, between who you are and all the things we think we are.
The question to you is, do you think these 3 days is a good opportunity to practice more? And
lots of practice, lots of practice, lots of reflection, lots of digging deeper, and then practicing the simple tools of focusing on critical variables, discovering the critical variables, helping the student learn to focus on what he's already paying attention to, but to take it deeper by asking questions. And it's all just taking the tools we're already using and taking them deeper. People are aware, but their awareness is limited because they've just stopped with the idea. But how do you feel what you're doing? How does it feel? How does it feel when you're coaching? And is your focus on what you're saying, or is your focus on what's happening with the student? You cannot teach. You can only help learning take place. The choice of learning is always up to the student. And the coach has to be number one student. Just look around. All the other trainings are wanting to get more complex, to widen, to learn more and more. No, I want to learn less and less, deeper and deeper.
Okay.
so that it's part of it.
It's interesting because you are talking to learn less, but in depth.
Yes, and
That's
to unlearn the complicated.
yes, because I think sometimes we are pushed to give more value to complex solutions.
Yes, that's our training. That's what graduate school is. That's what we want to be higher on the totem pole of learning. Look, your models for learning are children. And you can see if you observe children, they're learning without being taught to learn.
Yeah.
They're enjoying every step of their expansion of their understanding of who they are. And pretty soon they find out I'm not a child anymore. And I'm really in charge. The gift of life has been given to me, not to them. They have their gift of life. So I'm in charge because it's given. I'm in charge of my life.
What motivates you after almost 50 years of inner game and different kind of applications? What motivates you design this new program with maybe with the same concepts but in a different way? What motivates you to travel until Italy and the past 3 days with European people and talking about these things?
I had a profound experience just yesterday. Profound experience of me. And I don't need to be motivated. I need to find my motivation. And it's not what I motivate me. I'll give an example. It was so strange. I had gone deeper into myself and found, wow, I'm already motivated. And I didn't think that, but there was a knock on the door. And so I opened the door, not knowing who would be there. And there were two young gentlemen from, frankly, a religious cult. And I've had them call before. And I've always enjoyed the arguments that we had. But this time, I was just full of expressing the joy of being alive and recognizing that they were the same. There was nothing to argue about. And one of them just was lit up and he was recognizing where I was and there was nothing to teach me and they didn't have to give me their doctrine. And I was not giving them a doctrine. And they just ended saying, when can we come back? And it was so different than the mental conflict that can happen between different belief systems. When we speak from ourselves, it's not from belief. It's from who we are. And it's simple, it's unpredictable, and it's powerful. Human beings are powerful when they're themselves and they're not trying to get the other person to be different. So let's make the most of every moment of the 3 days. And I'll work with those who come personally, and I'm motivated. I want to get to know these people who mostly you have invited into the inner game journey and develop their understanding. So now, I'm more in the area of product development, as it's called. and I want to see where people are and how we can move just a little deeper and simpler and powerful. So I can't do that. I'm talking to you now, and I see simplicity. I don't see you arguing. A little bit of concern. Well, will it be different? I'll tell you what. Do I sound a little different than I usually sound today?
Yeah, yes. Sure.
Yeah. So something's going on there.
Yeah.
And I'm
No,
staying with.
I talk about Neil because we have discussed this with different people, not just in Brazil, but in US and Europe also. But I think the inner game is still alive and producing a lot of different things, a lot of different, like you said, opportunities. And we joke about planning our strategic plan for next 10 years or 20 years.
Yeah.
But it's amazing to see people that had already experience within the game is still motivated to share with people, is still motivated to learn more. And
we can learn a lot from them.
For sure.
And I hope the 3 days will have a good dose of people's experience of what's working for them and the results they have seen in other people. And then be able to ask questions about what seems difficult.
Yeah. And also to people that are coming for the first time, we invite people to come to have this first contact with the inner game. We'll have a great opportunity to share with participants that have more experience or had some stories to share or some learnings with inner game in the past. That is a good
Absolutely
mix.
We will learn, the new people will learn from those who have experience, and those who have experience will learn from the freshness of those who are being exposed for the first time.
Yep.
We'll all be equal. Our experience could mean we have more interferences. And the new one doesn't have the interferences except what he thinks a seminar is. Yep. The seminar is the difference in how you come into the seminar and how you leave the seminar. And an inner game understanding, the seminar doesn't end when you leave. Part of the seminar is how to enroll in the seminar of life, which continues every moment of every day. The seminar is going on. And how do we enroll in that seminar? Then it's always fresh, it's always new. And actually, we learn from, for me, I learned from when I speak. I was talking to those guys. I didn't have a thought in my mind. And I really learned from what was coming out. And I have to admit, half an hour before you called, I was thinking, what am I going to say? And, it didn't feel good because I was going to think and remember and then say what I remember. But that went, and.
Well, we didn't train this presentation.
We didn't train. We don't have an outline. I have an outline.
Oh, you have it. Surprise!
It's gone. It's
surprise
gone.
to me. Surprise to me. You have an outline.
Well, I have one. I often have one. I just don't follow it. It makes me feel more secure if I have an outline, because the fear, what am I going to say?
Yeah.
And the reality is, I'm at best when I don't know.